How much do you need to retire early? Early retirement means retiring before your 65th birthday. To retire early, you'll need more than just your salary to live on. You'll also need investments, Social Security payments, etc., so you can provide the income you need to survive and live comfortably, while working fewer hours or not at all. As a rule of thumb, 15% of your annual income should go into your retirement savings if you're still in your 20s. At that rate, you are certain of a comfortable early retirement, and you can be prepared for any emergencies. The ultimate goal is to free up your time so you can work on other things that are important to you, whether it's traveling the world or doing something else entirely. In this video, we'll share some helpful tips on how much you need to retire early. But first, as much as the thought of early retirement is desirable, is it even possible? Why early retirement is possible. Despite what you might think, it is possible to retire early. In fact, there are lots of people who've retired in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s. But how is that possible? The truth is, most of these individuals saved aggressively throughout their lives. They were willing to make sacrifices today for benefits down the road, and in addition, they also made smart investing decisions and worked with a financial advisor who helped them create solid retirement plans from an early age. That said, it's never too late to start planning for your retirement, and remember that early doesn't necessarily mean 30 or 40 years away. If you start now, there's no reason why you can't live well on your terms while getting closer to retirement every day. Consider making small changes, like starting a 401k, if one isn't available at work. In just 5 years' time, that can amount to $105,000 based on 7% annual growth. You could then add some investments into tax-advantaged accounts like Roth IRAs and watch as interest compounds over time. If you're self-employed, pay yourself first by setting up automatic transfers so that cash flows directly into those accounts. Whatever route you choose, taking small steps towards saving ensures that your dreams of retiring early won't remain just dreams for much longer. The process to get there. Setting realistic goals will help you become more financially secure. First, start by listing your expenses and your expected annual income. Next, list how much you'll need each month to live comfortably in retirement. Furthermore, add up what you've saved so far and subtract from your expenses. If you still end up with a positive number, congratulations! You might be able to retire early. But if not, try revising your savings goals. To get a sense of how much you'll need at different phases of your life, think in terms of saving a proportion of your salary. Fidelity Investments recommends 15% of your gross earnings going into your retirement savings starting in your 20s and continuing throughout your working years. It includes all of your retirement savings as well as any employer contributions. Fidelity Investments also advises the following goals for how much you need to save to retire early by the time you reach the following ages, which are based on multiples of your annual earnings. Age 30, 1 times your annual salary. Age 40, 3 times your annual salary. Age 50, 6 times your annual salary. Age 60, 8 times your annual salary. And age 67, 10 times your annual salary. Remember that saving for retirement is an ongoing process. Try increasing your monthly contribution by 1% until you reach your target number, or adjust other expenses in line with the new cash flow stream. It's also smart to check in once a year or whenever major life changes occur, like getting married or having children. Those things cost money. Again, don't wait until it's too late. Get started right away. Estimate your cost of living and expected investment returns. There are a number of different formulas for estimating how much money you need to retire. The most well-known one is called the 4% rule, and it goes like this. If you can save up $1 million by age 65, assuming a conservative investment return of 4%, then you can expect your investment portfolio to sustain $40,000 annually in retirement until death at age 90. That's not exactly chump change, but it's still significantly less than what many retirees spend each year today, particularly those living in major cities with expensive real estate and travel costs. Obviously, depending on your personal situation or lifestyle expectations, that $40K may be more or less than you're looking for when planning on early retirement. It's important to keep in mind that every dollar you spend today should count double because it will have to last twice as long as intended. For example, if paying off debt means saving $50 per month right now instead of spending the same amount elsewhere, think about how much more difficult it will be 5 years from now and longer if your savings could have earned interest over time instead of going toward short-term goals. Are you willing to follow a FIRE approach? A FIRE, Financial Independence Retire Early approach, allows you to save more than ever. Basically, if you can get your savings rate up high enough and live below your means, it's possible to eventually reach a point where even a small passive income stream allows you to do whatever you want with your life. It all comes down to how much money and how little spending there is in your life. And while that might sound like it requires an austere lifestyle, many FIRE enthusiasts say they follow an enjoy life frugally approach. They work hard and spend less so they can live their best lives for less. The idea behind financial independence is simple. If you have enough assets socked away, then you won't need to keep working once you reach your retirement age. Therefore, at least theoretically, these people aren't retired yet, but rather working full-time simply because they enjoy doing what they're doing. In fact, according to new data from Go Banking Rates on Americans' projected retirement age, 1 in 3 workers are retiring sooner than later. 40% of respondents planned on leaving the workforce between ages 60 and 65, and another 20% were planning on retiring before reaching 60 years old. Are you on track? What's your retirement number and how close are you to reaching it? If you have an employer-sponsored 401k plan, a pension, a college savings account for your kids, chances are that question has already been answered for you. But what if your only source of income is your paycheck from work, and there's no guarantee that even that will be there by 65? In other words, if you want to retire early on nothing but what you make yourself and need help figuring out how much money you'll need, there's good news. It's not as much as some people think. As long as you're a little bit disciplined with your spending, then retiring in 20 years isn't hard at all. This video walks through all of that so you can see for yourself how easy it is to set up a comfortable early retirement. How do you know you're on track with your retirement savings? The best way to keep tabs on your progress is using a retirement calculator. But you should also review your goals regularly and adjust accordingly. As life happens, you get married, buy a house, save for a new car. It's important to figure out how those changes might affect your future plans. Reviewing where you are now can help answer questions like, is retiring early still possible for me? The answer is almost always yes, as long as you don't stop investing or decide saving for retirement isn't worth it anymore because it takes too much time. Time spent planning your financial future brings great benefits, peace of mind being among them, and helps keep dreams alive. Is early retirement right for you? There's no question that retiring early offers a lot of advantages, but is it right for you? Before you think about how much money you need in order to retire early, it's important to ask yourself whether or not it's even a good idea. If you're going into your golden years with little left in savings and still carrying high-interest debt from college, early retirement may not be a realistic goal, at least right now. There are some other questions worth asking yourself, too. How would retiring early affect your spouse or partner's ability to continue working if they want to do so? Does having more time on your hands mean that you'll have less stress than before? What kind of hobbies or interests do you have that could sustain your quality of life when work isn't in front of you every day? Your answers to these questions should help determine what sort of financial planning is necessary. For example, if there are things you love doing but can only make time for it on weekends because your job takes up most weekdays, then saving up enough money to support them while also spending time with family is likely more feasible than trying to retire completely at age 45. Thanks for watching. Click on the like button and subscribe to get more of our videos.